recently came across this incredible stat from Mack and Murphy that if a couple had known each other for more than 9 months prior to getting together, each partner's individual appearance had no bearing on the other. So by that I mean unattractive men and women can get with attractive men and women after this kind of 9-month connection period has been established. And this is quite strange because traditionally, looking at the data, most partners end up being of kind of similar appearance. But what's more interesting is it kind of begs the question, if it takes 9 months to be able to get past this area of attractiveness mattering, maybe that's a word, then is cold approach not even worth it if you're ugly, or if you deem yourself to be ugly? Well, in this video, I want to answer that question for you and deliver 2 brutal truths that you needed to hear yesterday about how appearance impacts dating chances. My name's Andrew Wilkinson. I am a men's dating and relationship coach. I help guys from all over the world get girlfriends, and I want to help you today. So let's discuss this, because we all know the stat. You have 1/10 of a second to make a first impression. And that becomes quite problematic on cold approach, because if we're not presenting ourselves in a very good way, well, she doesn't know how good we are at making pancakes. She doesn't know how funny we are. She doesn't know how intelligent we are. All she really knows, like 100% of her perception of us, is built out of how do we present ourselves and some of our body language. So that poses a really difficult problem. Because as I say, if we're not believing to be very attractive, then the harsh reality is, if you are ugly, I don't recommend it, is what I would say. And this is like, I'm a positive guy, so this is a real difficult message for me. But the reason why I'm saying this is because learning cold approach is hard. Like, I'm there in the trenches with these guys, helping them through it. But it often takes a little bit of time in the beginning to get success. And I'm not saying if you're not that attractive, you won't ever be able to get someone who's interested. You would. It would just take a lot more reps from someone who's presenting quite well. Maybe he can go over and speak to 10 women and he actually gets a couple of successes in his first 10. But say you're not presenting yourself very attractively, it could be 50 opportunities before you find that one. And speaking from experience, unless you have resilience of steel, 50 opportunities of rejection often become too much, often become too much rejection for someone to continue with the positive attitude required to go speak to her. But that was one brutal truth. And today I was here to give you 2. And this one's potentially even more savage, which once again, not very on brand for me. But in 99% of cases, if you are unattractive, it's because you are lazy. And I can already feel the hate. It's in the comments section. Like I can feel it is coming. But let's dissect this. I have seen time and time again that for the majority of men, yes, fair enough, if you were born in some certain way that makes it impossible for you to improve, yeah, okay, I'm not speaking to you right now. But for the majority of men, I've seen them transform. I've walked them through it. Like, check out this example right here. These are people that are just able to transform by taking very, very simple steps. It doesn't even matter how old you are. Check out this example right here. Or even myself. The reason I feel qualified to discuss this is because I went through that journey myself. I was like the loser kid growing up. I didn't have any girls that were interested in me. Like, I didn't hit puberty till I was 17. I was massively insecure. And I kind of looked like that as well. But I decided that for men, looks aren't stagnant. They're not permanent. I think it's actually one of the greatest gifts that we have. Like, as men, I think that our great privilege is the fact that we have so much flexibility when it comes to changing our appearance. As I say, I'm going to take you through the 4 things that I do with all of my clients. And they're very simple processes. And I believe every single guy can get himself to a place where he can be attractive enough to walk over and get amazing success with women. So like, if you're not quite there yet, do this work and then just go speak to her and you'll do so much better, genuinely. And like, you won't have to go through as much heartbreak. Like, I'm not usually big on procrastinating going speaking to a girl because that's like a trap. But genuinely, if you're being honest as well, don't be one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm ugly and you're actually like looking great. No. But if you want to have a genuine, honest approach to looking at yourself and improving, we're going to go through 4 steps today, and they're all super simple. So, the first thing that I will always look at to help clients change and start to have that more attractive 1/10 of a second meeting is to look at their face fat. Like, the average American now isn't even overweight, they're just obese. And I want you to really think about how much difference it makes to a man's physical attractiveness when his face is just kind of full of pudge and fat. It's not good. It doesn't entice a woman to want to engage. And that's what we want. We want her to feel like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll speak to him. And all this comes down to is just putting in some processes to lose weight. It's calories in, calories out. And once again, I can feel the heat. I can feel the comment section of just being like, hey, I can't do that, this reason, that reason. I'm like, okay. But most people can. Most people, if they really want to, can lose the weight. They can start to present themselves a little bit better. And speaking as someone who didn't present themselves as well, to someone who now, I'm not perfect, freaking hell, I do all right, but I get such a better reception everywhere I go. People are kinder, people are nicer. They'll go out their way for you, they'll engage with you. The world opens up to you. Like, rightly or wrongly, we do have to take a bit of a judgment on appearance. We can't spend 2 hours getting to know every single person we interact with on a deeper level. Appearance, it does matter. Sometimes we do judge a book by its cover. So starting to lose a little bit of weight, and like, I'm not a fitness coach, all right? There's 100 different videos out there that will help you with that. Like, I know some basic principles that got me in shape and got the clients in shape. But if you want to be one of the guys that's fully dialed, go find one of the 100 other channels that does that and specializes in it. Then, secondly, simply start to wear fitted clothing. Look at me, like I don't wear anything spectacular. This is like a $10 t-shirt, but can you tell? Fits quite nice. There's not these like baggy bits around the arms. It's not all loose. It doesn't make me look a weird shape, because anyone that will have watched my channel before knows I speak to something called the golden ratio. This is the most attractive metric when it comes to men. And that is your shoulders to waist ratio. We'll see if you saw that. And we want it to be around 1.618. And that is the most aesthetic ratio to male eyes. And we always think that's done by physique, working out and stuff. But most of the time it just comes down to your appearance of how you chose to dress yourself. Because if you're wearing really baggy stuff, it's not going to help you. So if you want the really cheap thing, you don't even have to hit the gym to do this one. I'm not actually in that great a shape, but I look in all right shape like this. But put me in some baggy clothes that don't really fit me very well, my score drops real fast. $10. Like, just buy some stuff that fits. Like, fit beats style every single time. It's like, just have things that fit. You don't need to be miraculous. We don't need you to be a Hollywood actor here to get girls on the street. It simply requires you to be a bit above average, and the bar is very low. Then, next, this one I often get pushback on and protest to, but highly recommend it as well. That is, grow a beard. And once again, comments, oh, I can't grow a beard, it's patchy, that's it. They always tell me it's patchy. And dude, I don't care. A beard is so good because it adds contrast to your face. One of the only other style tips that I give guys is picking simple things that fit that have contrast. Can you see how like my pasty ass skin works quite nicely with this black top? We like contrast because it has edges. It gives us something to latch onto. And so do beards. My face looks more styled because it's got all of these edges and patches. It's honestly a more masculine look. All the data suggests that women prefer guys who have beards. I think stubble's meant to be the most attractive for short-term mating, and beard is most attractive for long-term mating. But as you see in some of these images, like, there are guys that'll be like, oh no, like, I've done this so many times. They're like, oh no, it's too patchy. And I'm like, dude, just do it. Just grow it out. Feel like, let yourself go through the awkward phase and start to see that it is okay. Like, you can get through it, because in most cases, any beard is better than no beard. That will elevate you. Then finally, this was always my big tip to guys. We often grow up and we look around us and everyone has that same haircut, short back and sides, like trimmed close to the edge. Do not do this. One of the best things I ever did was go from my extremely loser haircut. I decided to go once to quite a more expensive hairdresser, not insanely more, maybe like 25% more than I was paying previously. And I walked in there and I was like, hey, I'd kind of like something like this, or something looks good. And they just told me straight up, they were like, no, you can't do that because your hair's too short. Because I'd done the standard male thing of being like, oh, well, I'm just gonna keep it really short. They told me, what we need you to do is go away for like 6 weeks, come back, we'll trim it into shape once, and then go away for another 6 weeks and come again, and then you can get that. And that's what I did. I started to grow out my hair, and I went from someone that was literally like bullied about his hair quite consistently to someone who got quite a few compliments. And it's not that big of an expense either. Everyone's there like, oh yeah, but I'm on a budget. I probably pay less than you to get my hair done, because most men, when they do the short back and sides, what are they? It's like every 4 weeks they're in getting their hair cut. Me, I probably take 2 to 3 months between haircuts. This is somewhat freshly done, but then I don't have to have it cut for ages because it's longer. Think of a hairdresser like a sculptor. They take their big rock and they need to chisel down. If you're in that position where you've always had short hair, one of the things that you can really do to change your appearance is allow it to grow out and then pay once to go to a decent hairdresser, and they will show you a bunch of styles that will shape to your face and make you look way better. Like if I go short, I either get that throwy look, all my like round face comes out. I do all my stuff to like avoid being too round for that. And they're the only 4 things that I do to truly change my appearance. And that took me from the guy that I was to the guy I am now. And it's what I do with each one of my other clients. This honestly was a more brutal message that I'm comfortable giving, but I do believe for 99% of men, if you're unattractive, it's because you're being lazy about it. Those 4 things, I took you through them. They were not that complicated, and maybe you can't do one of them. You can't actually grow a beard, or you're bald, then do the rest. Because for men, getting in shape is massive. Wearing fitted clothes, you'll be elevated above the rest. And I know I said I was quite useless at this. However, why not throw it your way? Because I'm quite lazy, but I did really want to get in shape. I did want to be in, okay shape. So I used some strategies that allowed me to still be quite a lazy guy and get in shape. So if that appeals to you, that you don't want to be the gym bro in there all the time, but you do want to get in shape, then check out this video where I run you through all the ways that you can get in shape and how I got in shape, clients get in shape, while still being pretty lazy.